Are you looking for a historical fiction set during the Revolutionary War times? Well, I have a few middle grade to young adult options for you today. Hello and welcome back to Wholehearted Homemaking. My name is Heather and I am mama of 7, ages 2 to 14, and today I have a book recommendation. It's really more of a author spotlight with a caveat. While I have 4 wonderful books by this author, I do not fully recommend everything she writes. I did read a few of her other books that I was not a fan of, just for some mature content. But the 4 books I have for you today are by Laurie Halse Anderson, and they are set during the Revolutionary War period. We used these last year for my middle schooler, along with our studies of the 18th century. So the first one I wanted to share is Fever 1793. This is popular, you've probably heard of it before, but you're basically going to follow a young girl and her experience living in Washington, D.C. area during, at least I think it was Washington, no, sorry, Philadelphia. In Philadelphia during the yellow fever epidemic outbreak in 1793. And it goes into a lot of different things, tea houses, it goes into some racial tensions and things like that, as well as how they cured the disease and just the devastation from it. So I highly recommend this. It's a real page turner. That is one thing about Laurie Halse Anderson's books, is that they are riveting and they keep you moving through. And my daughter and I both love this. The next 3 books in this recommendation are part of a series, and they're part of the series I remember has a strange name. It's like, oh, here, I can't find the name of the series. Seeds of America series. And it is Chains, Forge, and Ashes are the 3 books. And you're going to follow a young girl who is a slave and just what that really entails in her life in chains. It's a very interesting story. It's a heartbreaking story. So it does have some mature content. You're dealing with slavery, so you're going to have some intense moments. If you have a sensitive child, I highly recommend you pre-read it. But as I always say in my book reviews, if you're giving it to your children, please try to make the time to pre-read. I have been burned many a time by not pre-reading a book. And my children were either exposed to false information or just something that was too mature for what their age was. So please pre-read. But you can get there's lovely audiobook versions. But this is a beautiful story, but it is heartbreaking. It is very serious. And so you follow Isabel in this one, and she meets a young man in here named Curzon. And then in the second book, Forge, you kind of follow his story a little bit more. They both make an appearance in each one of those. And then the third one kind of is the culmination of that and what is going on. And basically, it's talking about these 2 young Black children who both have connections with slavery or were slaves, and how this Revolutionary War impacts them. And do you fight for freedom when you're not a free person? I mean, a lot of concepts come up in these 3 books that I just think are great discussion points to have with your children. They come from the Revolutionary War at a different standpoint, so that opens up another avenue of discussions. And it does have the serious topics of slavery, how both the British and the Americans interacted and dealt with the issues of slavery. It does talk about the harsh treatment of the slaves, of prisoners of war, battle, and just dealing with nature in general, because, the early or late 1700s was not a super safe place in America. There were a lot of natural dangers as well as all of what was going on with the different battles. And so just if you follow the story through, it is a beautiful but heart-wrenching story. And you will read through these. If you're wanting to use them for school, you're going to need to make your kids slow down because they will not want to put this down. But I highly recommend Laurie Halse Anderson's Seeds of America series, and also Fever 1793, and they were great discussion points, open up a lot of topics that are not usually covered in your American Revolution studies in regular textbooks or even regular history spines. And so these were wonderful choices. I just wanted to share these great books with you because they are wonderful. They are well written. They are exciting, and you and your child will enjoy reading them over and over. I believe my oldest has read this one many times, not to mention these. But they are wonderful books. They do have serious concepts, so you do want to talk about it and make sure you have those discussion moments with your children, but they are wonderful and not to be missed books for, I would say, no younger than sixth grade. I would not give this to a younger than sixth grade just because of some of the violence in it. Not that you don't talk about those topics with your younger children, but they may not be ready to read some of the things that happen in these books. I probably would give this one to a fifth grader, possibly sooner than I would these, if that helps. If you have any other questions regarding Laurie Halse Anderson and these 4 books specifically, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I will hopefully see you again next Friday for another book review. Thanks for watching.